I'm Matt Estridge, and this is Live with L.I.V.E. I get a lot of questions about gun control, and while the L.I.V.E. program is an unarmed program and doesn't have any bearing or factor on politics or gun control, still many people ask me about it because they think that gun control would stop mass shootings. So that's my little guy there. That's one of the reasons I do this. You want to sit in the seat while Dad talks to the people about why it's important to have preparedness? Huh? Preparedness, see, he knows already. The largest research on mass shootings was recently produced and done by one of the doctors, Jillian Peterson, Department of Justice researcher for mass shootings with the Violence Project. And in that research, this is exactly what they stated. The researchers point out that most firearms used in mass shootings are legally owned or they're stolen. And they're handguns, by the way, they're not assault rifles. They say that there's little evidence that most proposed gun control measures would be effective in preventing mass shootings. So, as you can see on the bottom left, pregnant Florida mom uses AR-15 to kill home intruder. She had several other children in the home, and her husband was being beaten by 2 intruders. And if she wouldn't have been able to obtain that assault rifle to defend herself and her family, her husband, herself, her unborn baby, her other children would all be dead. Bottom middle picture, if violent crime is to be curbed, it is only the intended victim who can do it. The felon does not fear the police, and he fears neither judge nor jury. Therefore, what he must be taught to fear is his victim. At the end of the day, and the Texas Attorney General after the El Paso shooting said this, you are the only one, the people who are the intended victims, that can protect yourself, especially in those first critical minutes and seconds, because no one else is there to help you, and that's what the L.I.V.E. program does. And the bottom right, that was the Texas church active shooter that was stopped. And if you see the green arrow, that's the gentleman who was a longtime firearms instructor for concealed carry. And in the upper right-hand corner, you'll see a small line of red, and that was the active shooter. If that gentleman would have not been there in his church, being a part of the security team, having a concealed carry permit, a lawful permit, a law-abiding citizen, and stop that active shooter, who knows how many people would have lost their life. There are many other stories like this. Again, I share evidence. It doesn't matter where I fall in the line of gun control. It doesn't matter where you fall in the line of gun control. What we all need to focus on is the evidence. More victims stop active shooters than law enforcement does. One school resource officer has stopped an active shooter in the entire history of active shooter events, and that's been in the last couple of years. Look at the ATF, Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms, yearly stats on guns. And here are just a few examples from those ATF stats, which are open source and you can Google. Straw purchases is where a felon who cannot have a firearm lawfully will get someone who can to purchase it for them. That's very hard to track and keep up with. There are many guns in the U.S. that are unaccounted for. There's the black market, which has never been stopped. It's just like the illegal drug trade. That's never been stopped either. You're not going to stop it and completely just get rid of it. Burglaries in cars that have firearms, burglaries in homes that have firearms, and mom and pop stores for firearms who have security, but they don't have the top end security. Hopefully I've opened your mind to see that if you attempt to take all the guns off the street and stop guns from being able to be obtained, the time it would take to do that, if you even could, you are going to try to do something that's unable to be obtained while lives are getting lost in every active shooter event. So the focus is incorrect. If you train people unarmed, like the L.I.V.E. program does, with knowledge and life skills, they can protect themselves in those critical seconds and minutes.
I'm glad that someone with your expertise and experience has decided to tackle this and present something new to the body of knowledge that's being worked on to help protect communities. So I appreciate that. What's important about this program to me is the how. That's at the person level and is very intuitive and easy to understand. It gives you the motor memory of how to actually execute those.
Any teacher at this school now can get their students out and get them to say why you do it, the how you do it. That's the most crucial part. Anyone from third grade up to a senior in high school are able to take in the knowledge that you've given, and it did not in any way promote any consent to being scared, but yet prepared. It's fun to see that you can get out there and take practical knowledge and apply it in a short amount of time and feel like you really learned it.
The L.I.V.E program protects people in those first critical moments when there's no help, before law enforcement arrives.